Hey mutants, I have a video here, and I don't do too many kind of commentary videos, so it's fun to do them every so often. By the way, this is brought to you by my own self-published comic, Red Knight. I'm up to 5 issues now. It's drawn by J.C. Grande and written by me. You can buy it at the links below on my Etsy shop, and you can get issues 1 through 4 at Primal Paper Comics at this point. I hope to have issue 5 ready soon. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the Batman film franchise for a moment, and the big Dark Knight trilogy is over. It's kaput. It's finished. We're done. It's stick a fork in it. It's almost out on video, so it's just about done. And frankly, it's film history now, and all you know, it's one for the ages. Okay, I think I've made my point. It's over. And I don't think Warner Brothers is going to let it be over. I think they're not exactly going to go, well, we're done with Batman movies. I think we've made enough money. No, of course the idea is going to be more Batman movies. They've all been successful. Nolan, I think, did a brilliant job turning that ship around from the Batman and Robin fiasco that nearly not only crippled the Batman franchise, but superhero comic movies in general. It's amazing what a crater that was. So that really does show the achievement Nolan did with Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. Now, what's next? Now, there's 2 things that we know aren't going to happen. There's not going to be a 4th one from Nolan. He is done. And there's not going to be a John Blake Batman movie. I mean, come on, don't make me fucking laugh. And there's been some talk about a Catwoman movie with Nolan, or at least Nolan producing. That would be awesome. I would love that. I think at the very least we'll get Nolan producing. I've never seen him do a film with a female-centered lead before, and I don't know if he ever will make one of those, actually. So at the very least he'll produce one, but that could be stuck in development hell forever. Remember, I actually think, you may want to Wikipedia this, but I have this feeling the Halle Berry Catwoman movie was actually the Catwoman spin-off that was supposed to come out of Batman Returns. What makes me think that was, I do know that that was supposed to happen, and then it kind of just got like dragged into development hell. And then when the Catwoman film finally shows up with Halle Berry, her origin is the same. The cat breathing back to life origin thing. I don't know. I'm not 100% positive on that. But, okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do new films. And I want to just talk about, for a second, what I think they're going to do and what I think they should do. Like, if it was up to me, like if the Hollywood gods came knocking on my really small apartment door and said, you know what, we've seen these cheap videos you've been making. I think we've turned over this giant franchise to you. Well, I think, first off, I think the film franchise is probably going to take a lighter turn. We're going to start with a whole new cast of characters, and my hope is that they would probably not do another origin movie. We've already done an origin movie with Batman Begins. I think it would probably be a mistake to even try and do it again, frankly. I think this is what I think probably should happen. Now, of course, these aren't based on anything I've heard. These are just things I think would probably be a natural way to follow the Nolan films, because that's going to be a hard act to follow. So let's try and be at least kind of smart about it. Not, instead of doing the same exact thing, I think maybe the Nolan films should possibly do Batman films where Batman is Batman in the first scene. Not too much different than Batman '89, really. We get to see Batman in action. He's probably been Batman for a couple of years, actually. And what I think might be a good idea is to maybe have the focus on the first film be a Robin film, really. You know, have Robin actually be Dick Grayson, and have maybe Dick Grayson be a kid. We see the world of Batman through his eyes of a 12-year-old Robin, and you know, we've seen characters like, you know, Hit Girl, for instance. So I mean, look, if I can believe like a 12-year-old girl could kill like a room full of mobsters, I can believe Dick Grayson can, you know, be a 12-year-old. Especially, you know, if he's had like acrobatic training and stuff like that. And so what's good about that is you can actually use Robin's origin as a way to kind of reintroduce that character, and also as a side angle into Bruce's origin. So if you want to have at least some kind of origin for that first film, you know, their origins connect, you know, that's how they emotionally bond, and then, you know, we can go off into, you know, adventure and stuff like that. I would maybe say, you know, have Robin like appear maybe like halfway through, you know, like the thing they do with origin movies for most superheroes, where you don't see the character complete until, you know, 2/3 way in and shit like that. And we can have that for Robin, but hey, it's a Batman movie, so we have Batman kicking crap out of people all the way through the movie. So we don't have to wait and wait and wait to see somebody in a cool costume. As far as villains, I would say, well, if we're going to do the Robin origin, I think it would probably be a cool idea to have Tony Zuko, the mobster who killed Dick's parents, to be the actual killer, but maybe he could work for one of the villains. Now, which villains would we use? Now, look, we've already used Joker, and Heath Ledger's Joker is like a generational Joker. I mean, that was a huge impact. So the first film out, maybe should you know, put him on hold for a little bit. I think in the first film they probably should avoid the Nolan rogues for the time being. Like, you know, not Ra's al Ghul or Catwoman or Scarecrow. I think probably maybe a good a couple of villains. Well, let's look who was there. There was the Riddler. He wasn't in the Nolan films. Nor Penguin. There's Mad Hatter. There was Doctor Strange, Dr. Hugo Strange, and then we can maybe have maybe some kind of like a supernatural kind of villain, like maybe a Clayface or something like that. And that's something I think DC should probably embrace, is since we went hyper realistic, or not really, but kind of pseudo hyper realistic. Is that a term? I just made it up. Perhaps have a little more fun. Let's have some characters with powers. You know, we can have like a Clayface kind of character and just go full on to it. But maybe even still kind of have, you know, a world that seems fairly realistic. But you know, create a tone where we can still have these kind of characters exist in it, if that makes any sense. And still, you know, make the film fun. I think maybe kind of in the tone of a lot of the Marvel films, like, you know, the Avengers. I think the Avengers world comes off pretty believable, you know, in all the films, you know, the Iron Man films. But, you know, they're allowed to have crazy powers and, you know, be the characters from the comics, instead of, like, you know, whittled down versions. So I think that might be the best way to go about it. I think that's kind of all I have as far as that's concerned. Now, what do you think? You can throw your opinions on here, too, about the future of Batman films. Push the button, Lindsay.